Welcome back. The Trump administration is seriously cracking down on commercial trucker driver's license. This is a latest push coming after a University of Massachusetts soccer star was killed in a car wreck in Ohio last week. The driver of the truck was a 42-year-old man from Uzbekistan who spoke almost no English. State troopers say they had to use Google Translate to communicate with him at the scene. Joining us now is Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. Mr. Secretary, good morning to you. I know this has been driving you crazy and you are trying to crack down. Let's take a look at this Uzbek driver really quick. His name is Beksad Arsarov. He came into the U.S. in 2024, reportedly speaks pretty much zero English, and you posted on X that he apparently tried to rip out his dash camera and hide it in his pocket when he was confronted by Ohio State troopers. Give us your reaction to yet another American dead at the hands, allegedly, of a non-citizen, non-English speaking truck driver.
So not only that, Bill, he was trying to rip out his electronic logbook. He had 3 phones on him. So this is the investigation that we now do. Not only did he not speak English, when he took the test to get his commercial driver's license, he took it in English and allegedly passed. So this reeks of fraud, and we are now digging in to figure out where did he go to school, who gave him the test, how did they pass him. But per our rules, he should have never had a commercial driver's license, should have never been on the road. And again, we'd save lives. I tell you what, there's nothing that makes President Trump more angry than when you see people come into our country and we have politicians who put illegals give them a higher priority than American citizens and the safety of the American citizen.
It feels like we're getting one of these almost every week at this point. We have another one we want to talk to you about. This was a Pennsylvania state trooper who was killed earlier this month by a Haitian man, a Haitian truck driver, had a CDL as well. He's charged with a slew of crimes. We can pull him up here. His name is Michael Bond, in the country illegally. And he got his CDL from the state of Massachusetts. Again, he's accused of killing a Pennsylvania state trooper who was helping another trucker out on the side of the road, crashed into that truck, and killed the trooper in the process. CDL from Massachusetts. And we want to rewind the clock a little bit because back in 2022, the governor of Massachusetts, Maura Healey, was asked about why she's giving driver's licenses to illegal aliens. Here's what she said.
Okay. Tell me about the driver's licenses for the undocumented. You think that's a good move?
So it's a matter of public safety. I mean, people are going to drive with or without a license. Right. Don't you want people to be properly licensed? And, you know, there's a way to do that that is by the law, that prevents fraud. And, you know, that's all possible. And so that's why I supported it. And that's why I stood with many public safety officials.
And pieces.
So she says these illegal immigrants are going to be driving anyways, and it's just safer to give them licenses. Yeah. Your thoughts?
So Bill, let me just make some points here. The English language proficiency, this is illegals who've come in the country that can get driver's licenses. This was from the last administration. I've changed the rules. When I changed the rules, I was sued by states like Massachusetts, and if they hadn't sued me and a judge hadn't paused us, this man would have never had a license, and Trooper Pajera would still be alive. These liberal, radical leftists are fighting us every step of the way. We might disagree on immigration and how many people should come in this country, but every single, whether it's a governor, a representative, congressman, senator, should support us in the safety of making sure the American people, when they get on the road, are safe with other drivers. And frankly, they fought us. So now I want to be clear, for the American people looking forward, the rules are clear, and we have states partnering and participating with us. However, looking back, states could do a better job of realizing and recognizing where they've issued illegal licenses, revoke those licenses. I can't force them to do that. I can't make them do that. The Congress hasn't given me that authority. But on their own volition, they can pull those licenses, and they should, and keep Americans safe.
And real quick, only got about 15 seconds left here. What's your message to Congress? Senator Jim Banks has introduced Delilah's Law, would block illegal immigrants from getting a CDL and mandate that all tests are in English, but it's just kind of sitting in the Senate right now. Your message to Congress, final word. Yeah.
English language, English tests, American citizens drive on American roads. If you can't come into the country properly and you're not a citizen, you should not be driving a commercial vehicle.
All right, got to leave it there. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, great to see you as always. Thanks for your time.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.